I think we can do some things right out of the gate on the border, which is a huge priority for the president, on energy, and on military readiness, increasing our defense budget, all offset. But do that, get a quick win, and then focus on the broader debate about taxes and some of the other issues, including spending cuts, which I think we have an opportunity, a historic opportunity, to do something about.
And that was Senate Majority Leader John Thune in an exclusive with Laura Ingraham telling Fox News the best ways to implement the Trump agenda last night. A group of House Republicans are traveling to Mar-a-Lago this weekend to discuss reconciliation strategy with President Trump. They're planning to meet separately with Chairman, the President-elect is planning to meet separately with the chairman of the committees, the Freedom Caucus, and the GOP members of the SALT Caucus as well. But New York Congressman Pat Ryan wants Democrats at that meeting, too. He says if President-elect Trump is serious about removing the SALT cap and ending double taxation, he's going to need bipartisan support. I'll go to Mar-a-Lago myself if that's what it takes. Trump reportedly telling Senate Republicans yesterday that he is preparing at least 100 executive orders on day one, mostly focused on the border. Joining me now is Ohio Congressman Warren Davidson, a member of the House Financial Services and Foreign Affairs Committees, as well as the House Task Force to combat Mexican drug cartels. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here this morning. What
Good morning,
is coming
Maria.
out
Thank
of all of these meetings? Yes, it's good to have you. We want to know what's coming out of these meetings with President Trump in terms of how you are going to execute his agenda. What is the latest here?
Well, everyone's united in terms of what we want to do. There is a little difference of opinion on strategy. I think Thune and most House conservatives believe that doing a two-step process is better. We build momentum, and we can execute very quickly on President Trump's core promises of border security and national security, a handful of other things that we can get done before March 14th, because remember, the government's only funded till March 14th, and even the most optimistic people for the One Big Beautiful Bill plan think that mid-April is the best case scenario. So what's left unsaid then is, well, okay, so I guess we're going to get an omnibus in March. And they don't really have a good plan for that. We don't even have top-line numbers set yet, in spite of all the delays. So I think it's really important that we come up with a plan for what to do ahead of March 14th. And the two-step plan does address that. The one-step plan doesn't have a clear answer for that, but that's what the discussions are about.
In terms of this March 14th date and the next continuing resolution, how likely is it that this package is going to include disaster relief? I mean, have you and your colleagues started talking about the next steps in terms of these Los Angeles wildfires? Some analysts believe the next step is going to be the enactment of disaster legislation to pay for the rebuilding of all of this infrastructure, and a provision of relief has become somewhat partisan recently. What are your thoughts on the disaster relief that no doubt will be needed for Los Angeles?
Well, we included disaster relief for Western North Carolina and Florida in the wake of hurricanes recently in East Tennessee. And no doubt we need to address fires. But the problem with California is forestry management. And we had good legislation on that. Bruce Westerman, who chairs the Natural Resources Committee, and it has a PhD in forestry management, has led this. We have truly qualified people leading this policy in Congress, but not in California. So all these things that they're doing are making it far easier for fires to grow and spread and be huge. And their insurance, we had hearings last summer on insurance policies in California, talking about the consequences for the policies that are happening. People are losing their home insurance coverage for fire because of policies that the state government's doing. And if they want the money, then there should be consequences where they have to change their policies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering if you know, your colleagues from California, these California lawmakers are going to be pushing for, you know, the states prone to disasters to have money allocated toward this, to push for
but California wants the money without changing the policies that are making the problem bad or worse. And I don't see how Republicans could possibly support that. I mean, we support the people that are plagued by disaster, but we have to put pressure on the California government to change course here.
I see. So has there been discussion already about the federal help that's coming to California? And are you saying that there's a little bit of pushback unless you see policy changes?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, how do you do that? Because you don't want to send the message to families, oh, we're not going to take care of you. They certainly didn't have a problem saying that to people in Western North Carolina in the Biden administration. Instead, the Biden administration, oh, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of everything. And so different response when it's out there where the Hollywood elites live. So that's disappointing from the Biden administration. Help is on the way from President Trump and a new administration. But when it comes to congressional funding, the idea that we're going to have an open checkbook, no matter how bad your policies are, is crazy. You know, Florida is prone to hurricanes, so they do lots of things to mitigate the risk of hurricanes. California is prone to fires, and they do things to make the fires worse instead of responding to make them more resilient.
How much federal insurance would you expect would be considered?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they say this is the largest, most expensive fire in California history.
Right.
And it certainly doesn't look like it's contained imminently. So it's a real big problem. We know we have to take care of the problem and the people with policies that really exceed the scope of normal coverage.
Okay.
But the problem is there are people that like I say, big consequences for bad ideas.
Yeah.
And California has to confront that on a lot of these issues.